What's up, TIA Marketplace, Joshua Tribe? I'm back. I told you today I was in the mood. I was in the mood to have a talk. You know, I wanted to talk to the people. Let me talk to them. Remember Young Jeezy, that old song? He used to be one of my favorites. Anyways, I was kind of thinking, I wanted to share my opinion on what I believe are characteristics any entrepreneur needs to cultivate if they are really looking to make that mighty plunge from the known into the unknown, right? i.e. moving from where you're used to, where you're comfortable, whether it's the States, whether it's Europe, UK, Malaysia, Singapore, wherever it is, and you're ready to make that mighty plunge out here in Africa, in Kenya. This is what I have found. I am somebody, I have traveled a lot. I have been to over 80 countries. I've been around, I've seen a lot of things. I've run up into a lot of things. And so this is just my opinion in what I believe. These are certain characteristics that I believe I have been born with, as well as have been able to really cultivate during my practice as a public defender. I think any of y'all who are PDs out there, I think you're gonna agree, some of these characteristics you just know. I do believe that my training as a public defender and working in court systems, both in Florida and New York, with a underrepresented, discarded community, you gotta learn. And if you're gonna be effective, you're gonna learn it fast, quick, and get into it, right? So I personally believe that one, you must be tenacious, right? You gotta be tenacious, you've gotta be persistent, and you gotta just keep chipping away at it. I think it is really hard to maintain long-term tenacity and resilience, especially when you are just getting bad news after bad news after bad news. But you got to dig deep and you got to find it and you got to tap into it because you need it, right? I've definitely had a lot of challenges. I've had more than enough people say to me, why are you doing it? I would have just given up by now. My mom hit me up once and she was like, just come back. And it's like, I don't want to go back to practicing law, right? I keep my licenses active, but it is definitely not something that I want to go back and do anymore, right? If I'd wanted to, I would have just stayed. Duh. I believe that you really have to be thick-skinned, right? Thick-skinned, persistent, and a lot of self-confidence, right? Like, you got to believe the stuff that's coming out your mouth. You got to believe it, live it, feel it, do it, and be about it, right? For me, I'm a big believer in I can do it. I don't really think there's anybody out there doing anything that I really believe I cannot do. And that even includes being like a mechanical engineer. If I really wanted to be a mechanical engineer, I know that I have it in me to go back to school, learn whatever I need to learn to be a really good mechanical engineer. I don't believe there's anybody out there, and I'm like legit, I don't think there's anybody out there who's really doing something that I cannot do. I want to see my business grow. I want to see my business be within all of the Comesa region. I want to be able to create that in my own belief, my self-belief in myself, and knowing that I am a very persistent person is going to make it happen, right? I said it, I meant it, and it's just gonna have to be exactly that, right? I think it's really important to know how to talk to yourself. I think that it's really easy to talk badly to yourself, thinking that, just all that self-deprecating language that sometimes we use. And I don't do that, right? Definitely have I had bad days? For sure, right? Have there been days out here where I'm like, you know what? What am I doing? What am I really doing out here, right? But like with all things, those things pass. Why? Because you got to go back into those characteristics I'm talking about, right? Tenacity, persistence, self-confidence, resiliency, thick skin, right? I think any PD is going to let you know if you're really trying to be over there and do what you need to do as a PD, your skin has got to be thick, right? I remember one of the things I definitely learned as a PD was no is not really a no. I just didn't figure out a way to make you say yes yet. You heard? That's my self-confidence in that. Like, I know as a PD, and I mean, any PD knows this, I mean, all you're ever doing is fighting with court, fighting with a prosecutor, fighting with a judge, fighting with court personnel, fighting with your client, right? And from every single place, all you're getting is no counselor, right? Nowadays, anytime anybody really says no to me, I'm like, nah. I'll find a way for you to say yes. Don't worry, right? Which now leads me into like a big one is just really being creative and really, really tapping into your creativity, right? You are born with it. It's in your mind. You've got to be able to utilize it in your everyday work. We have definitely had a lot of challenges, right? Where we've had our suppliers bottom out on us and tell us that they found competing distributors because they don't think we're moving fast enough, right? How do? You've got a product pivot, right? You've got to find something that makes sense, make it look good, right? How do you want to brand your stuff? How do you want to make it look? I am a super artsy fartsy, right? I love all things art. I consider myself a master DIYer. I love being able to create something out of nothing. And I love to draw. I love to color. And that has really, really helped me in my creativity, in my business life, right? Being able to come up with different products, making it look pretty, making it look more, as they say here, look very appealing. And I think that you need to be able to really tap into that. I think even people who consider themselves like, I'm not creative, I can't make anything, I don't really believe that, right? I think that if you're able to tap into yourself and really like, what do you like, right? Like, what do you like to see when you're looking, like what really attracts you, right? Like when you're at a grocery store, maybe you're at a clothing store, right? Like what visually appeals to your eye? What makes you come to say, oh, I really love this, right? I love this fashion. What is that, right? Now that you have an idea of what you want to see and how you want it to look, you can create, right? And that's just really all creativity is. I think you also have to be super flexible and adaptable, right? I think sometimes as business people, especially when you're new like ourselves, you've got to come up with a plan, right? Like you can't really expect to go somewhere if you don't have any idea, if you have no planning or structure on how are you going to get there, right? I think that although you have like an outline of how you want it to go, right? Like maybe it's like this or like this. I do believe you do have to be flexible with your plan, and you've got to be able to adapt your plan to different stuff, right? Like i.e., we first started out being private label wine importers, right? And then that shifted because we didn't get our liquor licenses. Now it switched over to soda with nutrition. As we started moving our sodas with nutrition, we were getting a lot of feedback from others in the market looking for different types of product. We heard you guys and we got into it. We started making more products, diversifying our product portfolio to be able to include different things. So all of that to say is you do have to be flexible. You do have to be adaptable. You do have to be able to be someone who can think on their feet. Although things move a little bit slower here, right? Like this is definitely not a New York-paced city at all. Nairobi is a city that on the African continent moves very fast. Come out here, you'll see like, God, go to Lilongwe, or I don't know, go to like Chad. Woo, Lord, something that should take you like a week is probably going to take you like 2 months out there in some of these places, like legit. Like even myself, I've had to really learn patience. Let me also throw that in there, patience. I have learned a lot of patience. Like when I moved out here from New York, I was asking the universe, please help me with patience. Please let me learn patience. Woo! Got and learned my patience when I came out here. I'll tell you what, an African will teach you some patience. I'll tell you that. You gonna learn how to slow it all down. Chill, it'll get done. So you do have to be able to have all of that. I do think another important part is to have a support system, right? I think that support system cannot be like hundreds of people, like where you're constantly like, oh my God, I had this happen. Oh my God, I need this happen. Like for me, I would never be able to run like that. For me, on my support system, it's on one hand, and it's only one or two people where when I really feel like I need to be able to discuss and talk about what's going on, am I feeling away? Do I need to vent? Do I need to offload? I have my support people around me. I know those people that I can call on, even if it's like late, I know that I can hit them up and that we can just be able to talk and help me just get back on track, right? So I think those are like the serious ones. And then like some of the other ones is have a sense of humor. Like some of this stuff, you gotta laugh, y'all. Like for real, some of this stuff, you gotta laugh. Like I told you in one of my other videos, like I got into a fight with a couple of dudes, right? Now at that time, it was not funny. It was not funny at all. Now, that shit is hilarious. Like, girl, what are you doing out here getting into fights with people? What are you doing? And it's like, look, this is where we at. This is where we at. This is what we doing. And it is what it is, right? So really have a real sense of humor. And last, adventure. You got to have a real sense of adventure. I knew that this road in the unknown is not paved for me. I don't know what it's going to look like. I know where I want to go. I know how I want it to look, but I don't know, right? Like, I really don't know. Like, we might see, we might not see how this goes. So I really think that you should have a real sense of adventure and just really being excited to see what you're making and what you're coming alive with, right? I believe anybody can do this. I really, truly, truly believe anybody can do this. If you are somebody where maybe you're watching this and you're thinking like, can I do it? I don't know if I can do it. I'm letting you know, you got this, you got this, you got this, right? If you don't believe in yourself, ain't nobody else around you gonna believe in yourself, right? Because it's gonna come off with how you talk, how you move, how do you conduct yourself. It's never gonna happen. I think that, start with a little bit of changing with the mind. What do you need to see in your life to be able to move in this direction? What do you need to do in your life to build resiliency, to build tenacity, persistence, right? How do you maintain your self-confidence? You got to think about all those things, think about what you want, but I promise you, I believe in you, and I know if you really want to be out here, change what you're doing, change your life, do something completely different, move to the continent and do what you want to get done, you can do it. You've got it. So come out here and come be my neighbor and help a sister out, okay? Guys, like and subscribe down below, TIA Marketplace. What other characteristics do you think that somebody needs to be an entrepreneur? Put them in the comments and let's talk about it. Let's discuss. All right, like and subscribe, TIA Marketplace. This is Rita Mavunda, living the life, building the dream, y'all. And I will talk to you later. Bye.